Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a great day today. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Brandon Williams, and I'm the founder and CEO and lead Imagineer at 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘. We are a social enterprise, and we work to successfully evaluate, educate, and develop students in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. High school students a pathway to explore STEM careers through our junior science program. If you're interested or your district is interested in finding out more about our junior science program, please let us know. We currently do not offer programs for high school students, but what we do offer is workforce development program, where we hire the high school students in your district to help us share the power of STEM education around North Texas. Today, students will be able to create an LED thyroid, a simple circuit, a series circuit, and a parallel circuit. Now, you may be asking, what's an LED? An LED actually stands for light emitting diode, and it was one of the first semiconductors invented. A diode is like a one-way street for electric current. An LED gives off photons or particles of light as the current flows through it. Now, connecting the LED the wrong way, you may not necessarily have the desired effects. But what it would do, it block the current from flowing. So LEDs emit light when electrons, a type of particle found in atoms, you know, the stuff everything is made of, atoms, they recombine in the semiconductor in a certain way. This uses less energy than a traditional light bulb since no heat is needed. And if you look at it, most places in our school, when we go to restaurants, they use LEDs right about now. Many modern light bulbs, television screens, and jumbo screens, like the jumbo screen at the AT&T Stadium, use LED lights. Now, we're going to build an LED thyroid, and I hope you all really get excited about this. But I have a whole bunch of stuff here on my desk that we're going to use to get this going. I want you all to bear with me real quick as I let people in and out. So we're going to get, so we don't get slowed down. So, but what I want to give y'all a list of an example, excuse me, of some of the things we're going to go through right now. So let me move all my other supplies out of the way. So we're going to create an LED thrower, and I got 3 different LEDs right there, and we have these what are they called? These 3-volt batteries, or that we use, or as I like to call them, big watch batteries. So we have a couple these 3-volt batteries that we're going to use right now. So we're going to use these 3-volt batteries, and what we're going to do is, boom, I forgot the most important thing. Hold on, bear with me. Boom. But in the spirit of science, we pivot and keep on going. So the most important thing, tape. Now, you don't necessarily need tape. You don't necessarily need tape, but I do. So, or if you want to do this at home, definitely grab some tape. What I meant to say is this tape is actually overkill. You don't necessarily need this tape to move forward with this activity. You can use some regular tape, but I'm going to get a couple small pieces of tape to do this activity. So we're going to break off a small piece of tape like so. And I'm going to rip it just a bit so it's not as big. Okay. And if I ever fall silent, no worries, I'm still here. All right. So before we build this LED throwing, I have to give out a disclaimer. Okay. Now, first and foremost, I want you all to proceed with caution. All right. You have to proceed with caution. It's very, 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 very important that you all proceed with caution. All right. And there's a reason why. Now, what we don't do is take our magnets, okay, and we don't put them in our mouth, not even for a second. Messing with magnets is no joke. You may accidentally swallow them, and that's not something that we want to do. You must understand that batteries are poisonous, okay? And magnets are dangerous if swallowed. The potential magnetizing of your intestinal wall and essential scrambling your insides, like a scrambled egg, is serious. Keep magnets away from all televisions, computers, phones. You may have just gotten a new iPhone 12 Pro Max. The last thing you want to do is have one of these touch your phone and completely destroy the components in it. Okay, so that's not something that we want to do. Is mix up our new devices that we have. So now we're going to make our LED throwing, and I want you all to stay tuned because I want you all to tell me again, what does an LED stand for? And we're going to circle back, and the first person that tells me in the comments, you get a surprise. All right, so the first step is you're going to place the button, right? We got the magnet, and we got the battery, and we got the LED, okay? We got that. Now, what we're going to do is make sure that the positive side of the battery touches the longer side. So if you look closely, it's a positive, so probably can't see it on here, but if you look closely at your battery, there's a positive side, and then this is the negative side. Now, here's the tricky part. You have to look closely at your LED. Now, my LED we may not be able to, oh, it's a struggle. Put it up behind something dark. So if you notice, one of the arms is longer than the other, okay? If you look closely, one of them is longer than the other. So what we're going to do is make sure that the positive side of the battery touch the long arm of the LED, like so. That's very important. Remember, one is longer than the other. So the long one, positive, short, negative. So we place it on there. So once we have that, you're going to use the tape to hold the LED in place. I'm sorry for all the movement. Let me get my focus on. We're going to use the LED to hold it in place. All right. Now, so I messed up my tape. So I need to start over and get some more tape. So I'm going to set this down on the table, take a few seconds and grab some more tape. We don't need that much. We're not trying to tape this to death. Okay. We're just trying to secure it to the LED, to the battery. All right. So I ripped my tape in half. Now, if you want to be all delicate with it, you can use scissors to piece it together. So remember, the long part is connected to the positive side, and then the short side is connected to the negative side. Boom. So I'm going to take this and we're going to wrap it. We're going to wrap it just a bit. Boom. And I'm going to set that right there for just a second. I'll set there just for a second, okay? Boom. Now here's the cool part. Here's the cool part about this. Now, I was saying magnets earlier. You can take a magnet and stick it inside of your throwing. Now, what you've just created is a simple circuit. It's It's really, really simple. Adding the magnet, this is what makes it a throwy. You now, caution, let me step back. Caution, what we're not going to do and what I encourage us not to do is to throw these at people. That's not what we're going to do. So what you can do is put a magnet on it and play a game of tic-tac-toe with your brother or sister on the refrigerator and see who can connect the dots, tic-tac-toe, whatever you want to play on your display. I mean, on your TV. Refrigerator, don't throw these at the TV, Jesus. So connect the LED, the magnet to it, boom, put the magnet behind it, boom, boom, boom. And I wrap mine completely in tape. That's not necessary, okay? But now you have an LED throwing. That is super exciting. That is super, super exciting right there. Now you can find different surfaces to attach this to. That's what makes it really cool. And let's say, for instance, you feeling a little spicy with it, okay? And then you want to take it up a notch. Just broke some. We're going to add a little glue to that. Oh, like, Mr. Brandon, what you doing with this glue gun? You know, I have an industrial glue gun. It's amazing. So we're going to turn this into an LED throwy birdie situation with colorful, oh, disclaimer, glue guns are hot. So we can turn this into, you can add this as a cool decorative feature for Halloween, where you can backlit LEDs on a costume. And when you go out at night for this Halloween, this makes a cool option for a decoration of some kind. I think that's quite amazing. I think that's amazing. Thank you, children, students. I appreciate it. I really do. So we've made our first LED throwing. Make sure if you're throwing this somewhere that you can reach, don't throw it on ceiling fans. Don't throw it anywhere that can cause harm or be hazardous to the environment or your space. We want to make sure that you're safe at all times. Now, I have two LED batteries and LEDs. So I would like to make another one. So instead of making it simple like we did last time, remember, we're going to take the long end, connect it to the positive side, the short end on the negative side. Boom. Let me see if I got some more colors in here. Oh, we have white. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, y'all can't see what I'm doing. Boom. There we go. See? Oh, all right. So now we're going to take it up a notch. Once we take it up a notch, what we're going to do is, let me get some more tape. We're going to get some more tape, and then to make it even more interesting, if I can get it off my fingers, long end on the positive side, short end on the negative side, we're going to set it in the middle. Okay. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay. Remember I told you can take the feathers. Now you can go to, here's the beauty behind this. Are you all ready for this? You can get all of this from the Dollar Tree for under $5, with the exception of the glue gun. Hold on. You may be able to get a glue gun at the Dollar Tree as well with the help of your parents for under $5. The magnet, the LEDs, the feathers, and the other items that we're going to add to this today. You can also get googly eyes at the Dollar Tree for this project. So I got a couple different colors of feathers. Remember, we're making something cool and festive for Halloween. Okay. And then unfortunately I left my googly eyes, so I couldn't add googly eyes to this. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a makeshift googly eye monster. It's a great craft project. Now, this may not be scary to you, but this is a cool little scary little monster that you can use. Look at that. And this also, for the next 24 hours, makes an excellent nightlight. An excellent nightlight. So, boom, I added some little mini eyes to it. I don't know if you like it. I think that's pretty cool. I added some little mini eyes to it. But we're going to move on to the next one because this is the most important part and the most exciting part. So you know that you can make many of these LED throwaways and use them to decorate your room, your house, your school classroom, if you're in kindergarten, on ferromagnetic surfaces for them to stick, okay? How it works. Now, this is the key part, how it works. Each leg of an LED has a different material at the end of it that's inside of the plastic bulb. Now, the current can flow from one material to the other and give off protons, but it cannot like go the other way. So it can't be reversed. LEDs are polarized, meaning they only work one way. But here's the STEM connection. These are called LED throwaways because you can throw them and the strong magnet will stick to the steel if you place it on refrigerators and things of that, washing machines, your school door. This is a great activity, teachers, if you want to decorate your school door. Sometimes artists use them to decorate old rusty metal objects. Now, they can turn ugly structures such as rusty cars, refrigerators into colorful and interesting sights, which I absolutely love. While going around and testing different surfaces with the magnets, you are performing science, believe it or not. LEDs were one of the first types of semiconductors, which is an advanced technology. And that's something we need to think about as we move around the school, as we sitting in our homes, as technology changed with light bulbs and TVs and our smartphones. LEDs was one of the first semiconductors ever made and one of the first advanced technologies that we still use to this day. So next, what we're about to do is build a parallel circuit. Now, this particular activity is pretty challenging, so adult supervision is required. You may have to use wire strippers or something of that nature. And I will make sure that you all get all of the instructions for this so you can do this at home as well. And I also post the links so you all can find where to purchase these items on your own. So you may be asking, so Mr. Brandon, what is a parallel circuit? Parallel lines are lines that never touch. Remember, they run side by side like this. So imagine train tracks are an example of a parallel line. You all see the train running down the track, or the dart rail, believe it or not, the dart train sits on parallel lines. Imagine connecting one rail to the positive terminal of a battery and the other rail to the negative terminal. Boom. Now, what you can do is connect one light bulb to each rail and see it light up. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to make parallel circuits. Now, give me 2 seconds while I put this together. To do that, what we need are these lighthouses. And all these circuits that I have right now are pre-made. All these circuits are pre-made. Here we go. And you need a screwdriver. Now, the items that you see here are, you can purchase them on Amazon, and these items I found on these items are found at Home Depot or Lowe's or any other hardware store that's out there. Okay. So we got this. Now your screwdriver, you definitely need a screwdriver for this. Okay. These screwdrivers can be found where? At the Dollar Tree. That's what's so amazing about it. These can be found at the Dollar Tree. I don't know about you all, but I absolutely love going to the Dollar Tree. It's one of the most magical places on earth. I don't know about you, but it is to me. Now, while we're going, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them as I go through this. Now, we're going to get back to making that parallel circuit. Okay. Now, to do so, we got our lines. We got to make sure. I'm going to keep it focused on the table for right now so you all can see exactly what I'm doing. Now, I have to loosen my screws. Okay. We're going to loosen our screws to make sure we're good to go. Now, on these, you have to notice there's a positive sign and a negative sign, just like on the battery. A positive sign and a negative sign. That's very key. We have to make sure that those are lined up appropriately. Okay, positive sign, negative sign. So these connectors that I have here, these connectors, I made them. Now you can make them as well at home. I just took some wires from Home Depot and found these 0.22 little connectors here. And I extended the wires just a bit. So sorry about that. I extended the wires just a bit so it can touch right here. So, and I did the same over here. We got to make sure it comes together properly. So we have a strong connection. Now we're about to start the process of connecting. We're going to start the process of connecting our LEDs to our circuit. Our circuit, okay? Now there's a list of materials that you will need to do this. What we have is, okay, 2 ring connectors. That's what these are. We have 2 ring connectors. All right. We have the plastic light bulb receptacles, and the ring connectors would be these right here, but we don't have ring connectors. Okay, boom, boom. All right, we have those. And then we have a battery box. We're going to move those to the side. We got our battery box. We have 2 AA batteries. We have our screwdriver that I showed you earlier. All right, and then the jumper wires. They're called jumper wires. I want to make sure I give y'all the accurate terminology for what we're doing. We've already loosened the box already to make sure that everything is in order. So before we get started, I have to express caution. Be careful when using screwdrivers, screwing the bulbs in. They can get hot, and if they're on a long time, and they may cause injury. Parent supervision is always important. Always seek advice or guidance when you're doing these type of activities from your parents, or your teacher, or an adult in the room. Have an adult help you crimp the wire. Now, we're not going to go all in detail on how to piece this together, okay? That'll take a little too long, and I know we're limited on time, so I don't want you all to worry about that. So what I mean by crimp, so all of these are pieced together by hand, all right? So crimping the wire, once the connector is slid over the wire, I have to crimp it down. Now the pliers used for this may pinch your fingers, so make sure you have an adult or someone over 18 to help supervise you in this process, okay? Or we're going to reuse the battery holder from the previous activity that we hadn't done yet. We're going to use this battery holder to make sure it works, but before then we're going to connect the batteries. That's the first step, because we don't want to get going and then none of our batteries work. All right, because we have a long way to go. All right. So hold on.
A few moments later.
I feel like there's something I'm missing. I believe there's something I'm missing. I can't put my finger on it. We have the connectors. We have our plastic housing. We have our battery box and our batteries. We have my handy dandy screwdriver. Disclaimer, do not point this at anyone or poke your brothers, sisters, or classmates when doing these activities, okay? Safety first. Always remember, safety is first, all right? Moving on. So look at the screwdriver terminals right here. Look at them. These are the screwdriver terminals, all right? The mini plastic bulb receptacles, which is, I'm going to unscrew this just for this demonstration. So these are the bulb receptacles, okay? We're going to put the bulb back in. Make sure that's nice and snug. We don't want to make it too tight, but let me angle it properly. Hey, get it right. Somewhat. If you notice faintly, there's a positive sign right there. And then on the opposite side, there's a negative sign, barely. Oh, look, barely. You can see, let's see. It's a positive sign over here and a negative sign down there. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to connect a jumper wire and the battery's red wire to one of the bulb receptacles on the positive side. So again, what we're going to do, my countriness came out of it. We're going to connect a jumper wire. Remember, these are the jumper wires. So I'm going to take time and connect. Okay, we see that the screw isn't loosened enough. We're going to unscrew it, put the jumper wire in, boom, and we're going to tighten it down. Now, you don't want to make it so tight that it doesn't connect. So we have one. Now we go in, unscrew this, and we're going to place the other terminal over here. But remember, we have to place the battery terminals as well. So how do we do that? Red positive, black negative. Remember, red positive, black negative. So we're going to take this and connect it. Make sure we're connecting like so. Get in a little closer for you. And then we may have to, again, loosen the wire some more, the nuts, and make sure that this little wire is touching underneath. And then let's screw it down. Boom. So we've made the connection. So we've connected one jumper wire and the battery's red wire to one of the bulb receptacles, the positive terminal. Okay. Now what we're going to do is take the other jumper wire and the black wire, like so, and connect them. So again, we're going to take the black jumper wire, which is here, the black jumper wire from the battery box on the negative side and connect them. So we're going to loosen this up again like we did once before. This does take patience. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was that reveal is too soon. Let's turn the battery box off. So we know right now that at least one, we know for sure, like right now, that our connection is correct. Okay, but let's zoom back in on that. So we're going to take the jumper wire, connect it down, loosen this. We're going to loosen the screw one more time on this side. Try to swing it so you all can see it. And then figure out a way, because if you notice, so this is a part of the process. If you notice, my wires are too long. So I have to splay or separate them to make sure we have a solid connection. So I'm going to separate them like so. And then put my battery, my black battery wire back on it. Then we're going to tighten it down. We just got stuff everywhere, Lord. So let's clean up, take 2 seconds. I got trash all over the place. We're going to take a few seconds and clean up our station. Okay. Come back down. Yes, that's better. So let's see, did that still work? Oh, I messed up. So I connect the jumper wire and nothing happens. I turn the battery box back on, and then it's not working properly. Let's see what I'm doing wrong. Let's unscrew that. Let's fix this. Let's turn it back on. It's not working all together. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. So what I noticed is that the wire on the other side isn't touching. So we have to fix that also. So we take a few seconds, straighten this wire. Gotta straighten it up. Straight. Oh, look at that. It's working. All right, take that, screw it down. Oh, yes. Screwing it down. Now we're going to unscrew. I'm going to leave my battery box on to show exactly exactly when I make a mistake, because I want to have a real-time response and fix my issue. Oh, let's see. Yes. Okay. Ugh. Yes, I feel like that was successful. Yes. Yes. We're halfway there. We're halfway there. But let's zoom back in on this real quick. So we know we got one light bulb connected. So we connect the negative jumper wire to the negative terminal of the second bulb receptacle. Then we connect the positive jumper wire to the positive terminal of the second bulb. We've done that here. Bam. Now we've already screwed in the light bulbs, so they're already lit. So I feel like we're missing something. We didn't connect the second terminal. So let's do that now. Let's make sure to connect our second terminal, because the second light bulb isn't lit. So again, we're going to make sure, I'm gonna swing it around. We're gonna make sure that we have enough space. And we're gonna, oh, bam. Just like that. Just like that. We have, oh, I've dropped something important. Just like that, we have a parallel circuit. So that's exciting. I don't know about you all, but that's exciting. That's exciting. So you're asking yourself, okay, Mr. Brandon, how does it work? Okay. In this parallel circuit, the circuit passes through each bulb on its own, then back to the battery. It's a cycle. When you unscrew one bulb, the other bulb is still on, it's still connected to the battery. Now you can add many bulbs in this series and they'll all light up. It's just like Christmas lights. Think about that. We're coming up on Christmas. We're coming up on Christmas, and that's exactly what this parallel circuit is like. It's like the daisy chain or the Christmas lights that you see strung up along the roof of your house. Or if you're driving through downtown and you see all of the lights that they have on buildings, all the big green Bank of America building downtown Dallas. That's the same premise right there. Now, this particular circuit, this particular parallel circuit is very important to our project. It's the centerpiece of what we're doing. All right, it's the centerpiece. We've built the parallel circuit. We made sure all of our connections are tight. They're solid. All of them are solid, right? We got all the solid connections. Again, we use one battery box. We use 2 ring connectors. We didn't have ring connectors, so we used these little V-clip wire clips. We had 2 mini plastic bulb receptacles. Those are these black things. And we have 1.5 volt bulbs. We had 2 jumper wires, the white items. All right. And we had batteries and a screwdriver. Bam. Now I did get majority of these things with the exception of this stuff. Most of this stuff came from Amazon and Home Depot, but the little accessories that we're going to add came from the Dollar Tree. I'm really excited about this, y'all. Are y'all excited? Can you all? No one's excited. No excited but me. Oh my gosh. So hold on. It's okay. We're gonna keep rolling because I know you all want to get to the main project. We know exactly what happens. We know how it works in this parallel circuit. The circuit passes through each bulb on its own, then back to the battery. Now, what could be next? We know that the bulbs glow, right? We know the bulbs glow brightly because they are getting the full voltage of the battery holder. So here's the stem connection. Exploring why and how things work as you did with this parallel circuit is the foundation of science. Think about how different our world would be without simple but important inventions like the light bulb. I grew up in rural Arkansas, a small town, and light bulbs were very important, believe it or not. And one simple light bulb going out in our community had a really negative effect. But now technologies have changed and everything is powered by solar lights and all this other good jazz. So we don't necessarily have that problem. But inventions like the light bulb allows us to live a very productive life in day-to-day life. Just like right now, me standing in my YouTube studio and the lights that I have all around me, which are LEDs, by the way, are possible by simple devices like so, the foundation of what we are doing. All righty. Now, the most important part of this, which is I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this next part. Okay. So we got our simple circuit. I don't want my battery to go dead, so I'm gonna turn it off. So we got I can't get my words out. Okay. We're about to build a robot-like nightlight. Now, when we will use one of the circuits from the previous activity that we just did. We built a parallel circuit to build this robot-like nightlight. This nightlight looks just like a mini robot, okay? But yours doesn't have to look exactly like this one. I'm going to do a few things to modify and tweak this activity. So you can design or plan it out for your own different parts that you're going to have. And I'm really excited about this, okay? I'm about to start over here, get my scissors, and be right back. Oh man, I got back right on time, okay? Listen. All right. I got my handy dandy scissors. Listen, if you are working with scissors, make sure that we are using caution when handling. We do not pass scissors to our fellow classmates like this. We pass them like this, okay? Because we don't want to hurt anyone. We don't want to experience any cuts, bruises, or damages. My feathery LED thrower is looking kind of cute right now. I think I want to, if I could stick this on, I think that'll be my NASA hat. That'll be kind of cool right there. What you think? Well, I got off track. So again, like I said, you can use this next section and design it however you want, okay? Your parts, or the parts of your nightlight can look totally different than mine. I have a lot of random things that you can get at the Dollar Tree. This project uses the parallel circuit so it glows bright and your room doesn't get too dark. Now we want to make sure that we conserve energy and we're not just wasting batteries. So when you're not asleep at night, please be sure to turn this off, okay? Now, this idea for this robot-like nightlight stemmed from early on in my childhood. I was afraid of the dark. I'm admitting, yes, that I was afraid of the dark. Absolutely terrified. And I didn't have cool contraptions like this. So, but what you can do as we create this is use any type of circuit that you want. Now, usually this takes 45 minutes. We don't have 45 minutes left in today's Genius Hour, okay? But we're gonna make sure that you get all the information for this later on. So what we need for this right now is one parallel circuit. We need one parallel circuit to get going. And then we will use, you are ready for this? One Chinese food box. Oh, that is amazing. One Chinese food takeout box. Now, don't use one that's already been physically used. Now, this is not one of the times where you use old Chinese food containers lying around the house to do this STEM activity. There's no way for you to thoroughly clean this because we don't want this to spoil and smell out interesting later on, okay? Now, next we need a small tin can. For me, I have already fixed my can to do exactly what I needed to do. I have holes drilled in key places to make it possible, all right? We're gonna slide this back here. All right, next, what we need is we need washers, okay? We don't have adhesive washers, so I have these little Gorilla Glue sticky things that I'm going to use. All right, now we need bolts. The bolts that I have right here, these bolts are anywhere from 3 to 4 inches. I'm gonna say 2 to 4 inches. That's pretty long. You don't really need them. If you can go to Home Depot or somewhere and find a bolt that's around 3 inches, that works perfectly. So we're gonna use these mismatched bolts for the legs of our robot like nightlight. And also what you're going to use is we need these little copper wires. Now, these wires are similar wires that we use on our jumper cables, the exact same thing. Now, with adult supervision, you definitely need a hobby knife and a screwdriver. You need double-sided stick tape, but for me, that's what these are for. You can use those, and I'll make sure, again, have a link for all of this down at the bottom for you all to use. Now, here we go. Like most things we do, we have to express caution. This activity will require us to punch holes inside of our boxes and inside of our tin. Be careful. So what happens if you punch holes inside of our tin? It leaves jagged edges on the inside. The last thing we want you to do is cut yourself or your brother, sister, or mom or dad, auntie, grandmother, whoever with these items. So let's make sure that we're not rubbing our finger across the metal parts of our cans. That will be very hazardous and cause a real boo-boo. And no one's trying to get in trouble for that, okay? So that's your disclaimer. You want to have an adult to help you cut and punch holes in your food container and in your tin. Now, to make your life easy, you can use a hot glue gun. And it also requires caution and supervision. It's possible to burn yourself. Now, me, I'm a special little unicorn, and I have an industrial strength glue gun. Boom. When I see you all in person in the near future, we're definitely going to have a whole lesson on lab safety and about how to protect yourself and burn yourself with things like hot glue guns. It's almost self-explanatory. It is hot. We do not, under any circumstance, touch the tip of this glue gun. It is hot. The substance coming out of the tip, it is hot. And we definitely don't want to get this on nobody's table or desk. We don't want that, okay? We don't want that at all. So we have to exercise a lot of caution when doing this, all right? It's very, very important because I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want Richardson ISD to come knocking on my door. That's problems I don't want today. All right, moving on, okay? So first we got to do is make the head. Boom, boom. We're going to move stuff out of the way. We're going to make the head. We're going to remove the bulbs. We're going to start by removing the bulbs out of our parallel circuit, okay? We're going to start by doing this. Now we do this so we won't break them or damage the bulbs because we don't want to have to do that earlier. Oh, last thing, I forgot about this little screw right here. This is very important. And we're going to go ahead and unscrew that. We're going to unscrew that real quick. So we can use that at a later time, all right? Now, oh, I forgot something. Hold on. Oh, boom, I'm back. So we did forget something. I forgot a pen or a Sharpie or a marker that we're going to use to do this, okay? We remove the bulbs and place the receptacles upside down for the face, like so. So we got our face right here. And what we're going to do is put the bulbs, we got to finagle this where it bends and looks like this, okay? That's if you want to be fancy. We don't have time for all that because that requires a lot. So what we're going to do is, this is why adult supervision is important, what you should do is trace out, put the bulbs, receptacles on here, and trace out circles that need to be cut so the receptacles shafts can stick through. And what we're going to do, we were supposed to cut holes so that you traced, all right, that you trace with the hobby knife or scissors. So I think it's a little bit safer for us to use a pen to just poke a little hole through. Now you want to make sure that you're not poking your hand through the other side. We want to create a hole that's a decent distance apart because you don't want your eyeballs to be lopsided. Now, like I did, whoa, let me come down here. This is what I did right here. Okay, this is how they look. Now, I know that that's a little too close together, but we're going to make it work, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make this work, okay? So we cut a tiny hole in the bottom of, we got to also cut a hole in the bottom of it. This is, again, most important part. We don't want, when we poke in this hole, we don't want to poke this in the direction of someone. We're going to angle it down and make a little hole. And then after we make that little hole, we're going to apply a little pressure with our pen and poke it through the bottom. Aye, mateys. So we got that. We have our eye holes, our eye sockets, our orbital spaces, and we've cut those small holes in, and we poked a small hole through the bottom for a small screw. Now I'm gonna go ahead and admit I made that hole too big, so I have to make another smaller hole for this little screw right here. We have to make sure that that screw is big enough, that hole is big enough for that screw. We don't want to make it too big, okay? You can have an adult help you with this, which I highly recommend. So we punched out a small hole in the lid of the container, like so. It has a small hole in the top, like this. And we're going to feed the machine screw through that. You may be asking, Mr. Brandon, what's the machine screw? I'm glad you asked. So we're going to do that right now. And to make it easier, what we're going to do, I'm going to double up some of the steps. We're going to skip a step, skip around. We're going to skip a step. And then I'm going to poke my screw with my amazing hand-eye coordination. I'm going to poke the screw through like so. Now, I'm also going to feed it through the lid of the screw of the tin. Now, I've made the hole where you have to physically screw it in. That's so it doesn't come out. Think of this as like a little bobblehead. It's really cool. Put the screw on top, boom, tighten this down. You can tighten this down with your hand, like so. It's just that simple. You can tighten it down with your hand like so. Now, my head has a base. So we fed the small screw. We fed the small screw through the hole in the base of the head from the inside, so the pointy part sticks out sticks out of the bottom of your container. So now we slid the lid hole over the screw and tighten it to the head with a nut, like we did right here, which is the most important part. Now, here we go. This is where all this cool jazz come into play. Now, I took those out to show you a step, but I'm going to put it back in to speed up our process. Now, you really can't break these bulbs unless you apply too much pressure. And that would be a lot of pressure. Let's make sure they still work. Yes, our parallel circuit is still rocking and rolling. So you're asking yourself, Mr. Brandon, what are we doing with this right here? I'm glad you're asking, because we're about to make this one of the coolest things ever. So now we have our eyeballs, or we have our eye sockets already added to our container. And next, we're going to build the face of our robot-like nightlight. I think this is going to be the coolest thing ever. Don't hold me to that. It's just cool in my mind. It's cool to me, but it may not be cool to you, which is okay. I mean, if you're that person, okay. Okay, now we're going to do insert the bulb receptacles inside of the head. We got, this is requires a little finesse. This requires a little work. Okay, and because our circuit may have the tendency to not want to work after this, and we may have to make some adjustments, but let's see. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, y'all, look at that. I know, y'all. I know, right? I know. This is amazing. Look at our light bulb is working. They're still, our receptacles are doing well. So we didn't mess anything up with that. So we inserted the bulb receptacles of the completed and working circuit into the head. Now we poked the bulbs and the receptacle shaft through the eye holes, like so. Now, you don't have to force them all the way through. I just created enough space to poke the light bulbs through. Now, you have to be gentle with the wires from the battery holder. If not, you're going to disconnect it and you're going to have to start all of this over. Now, I don't necessarily remove the bulbs and use the adhesive backing. You can, to make this stick, you can put an adhesive backing to the back of the bulb to make sure it stays. But I don't do that for my own personal reasons. I just don't. You may want to take that off and reuse the circuit for something else. And if you, excuse me, if you connect the bulb with adhesive backing, you may not be able to get retrieve that at a later time. So if you cannot find adhesive backed foam washers, you can use glue. I, again, wouldn't use glue to glue our eyes to the bulb, but you can add creative elements. Carefully close the top now. Here's the best part. We want to carefully close the top of our box. Now, I've messed this up so many times. Now, here are some options for you as we work on closing your top. All right. You can use this double-sided sticky things, or you can use a hot glue gun. I don't foresee myself opening my top at all. I'm not going to open the top of this at all. So what I'm going to do is take my box and glue it to the top of his or her head. Just take a little hot glue, like so. Be careful. Boom. Yes. Because what you don't want to do is glue the side down where the switch is. That's not what we want. So, and then this seals the top, like so. And then my lights still work. Boom. So we carefully close the top. Okay, that works perfectly. The takeout container looks pretty solid. Look at that. Isn't that solid? That's very doable. We didn't use double-sided stick tape. We used a hot glue gun to attach it. Now, here's the cool part. We're going to make the body. We have the head complete. The head is complete. Now we got to make the body. And this isn't the difficult part. Okay. This isn't the difficult part, but it requires a little patience and some focus. Now, we're going to power through this real quick. So I have alligator clips here. If you notice, these pieces are very sharp on these alligator clips. So we're going to feed that. We're going to feed this through here like so. Tie it down. Oh, if I can get it, boom, tie it down. Twist, alligator clip, boom. Now, you may run into trouble. Look, this doesn't work. That doesn't go through there. Oh, dang it. What do I do? It's okay. You can pivot and use something else. Luckily for me, I have all types of little gadgets and gadgets laying around here. So I have extra arms, like an octopus. I have extra arms. Boom. I find an extra arm. Or always double check your supplies. Boom. Then if you notice, I created little holes on the side right there. Now you may have to, with adult help, make those holes a little bit bigger. Boom. So I then take it and you feed it through those holes like so. You feed it through those holes. Now, if you didn't cut your wires, long enough, you may have little stubby arms, and that's okay. We're accepting of stubby arms. We appreciate people exactly how they are. Now, last but not least, we're gonna fold those. Now, this requires patience. Yeah, there we go. I hooked them in so they won't necessarily come apart, and put on them a little bit, just like so. Now, we got our arms in there. We have some arms. Bam. I love my arms. We punched holes on the top. We punched a hole on the top and the left and the right side of the tin. Boom, boom, to make sure that we have it. Now we have our leg holes, and we're just gonna feed these screws in like so. We're not gonna be fancy with it. We're gonna feed them in like this. Boom, there's legs. That's not even fancy. No fancy legs over here. Now we're gonna take our hot glue gun. And for me, I'm going to drizzle like some glue on those legs to make them stick, like so. And now my legs are in there. We put a dab of glue on the inside of the arms as well. And we're going to inserted the leg bolts and added a dab of glue at the bottom. Now there's enough glue down there that's hot. And last but not least, okay, as far as our robot-like night light is concerned, we're going to add the head to it, but I'm going to fix this on here. I add glue to my can so it can stay. Boom. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, look at this guy. We're gonna lay him down. He sleep. He looked like he sleep. I present to you, this is Richard, our robot-like nightlight. Richard lives in Richardson, Texas. He attends Richardson ISD. He loves science, especially STEM education, and sharing the power of STEM education with students around North Texas. To extend this activity, what you can do is draw or make a smile on Richard's face. You can create a nose. You can put all these feathery things all over Richard, okay? You can put like a host of little bulbs and all over Richard to make him really, really cool. Now, this project builds on the initial parallel circuit that we created, taking a simple light setup that we initially built based off the idea of an LED, a light emitting diode, and housing it in a robot body like Richard has right here. Let's turn off his lights, okay? Now, the alligator clip hands add functionality, allowing your nightlight to also double as a holder. You can put, if you give it to your favorite teacher, this can be a business card holder. You can give it to your mom and dad and set it on a desk. There are so many uses for this particular item that there's no telling what you all do with it. All right. Now, here's the STEM connection. Designing anything, including your robot nightlight takes a combination of art and engineering. Engineering makes the pieces fit and work together. The art makes it look really sweet. Now, don't forget to join me, Brandon, as we work to share the power of STEM education in your community by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Brandon. I'm the founder and CEO of 𝗧𝗢𝗧𝗘𝗦. Have a stimulating day.